Okay, have some happy news here. I've been given a whole bunch of planters. All of these planters are your regular house planters, or of course for your patio. And they add a little watering thing right there that you put the water in there, and then that cloth in there wicks the water up to keep the soil moist. And what's nice about that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 of these. I have 2 of these. Here's one, and one a similar color. So I can have things matching. And I put out my plants for the indoor garden. And here's 2 black ones. So it'll look more uniform and hopefully better. A tomato, for your Tiny Tim tomato, a 1 gallon pot, something like this. This is what I grow them in inside. So I have some pre-moistened soil. I've got some organic fertilizer I mix in with this as well. But there's compost and bone meal. I've got perlite in there, the forced floor humus, and then the fine soil, the loamy soil. Now we like to have the tomatoes planted a little deep, so I'm going to leave the soil down a little lower for now. I ended up with 3 plants in this one, but if you remember my last video, those plants can grow fairly large, so I'll take 2 out. Now I'll plant it deep in here, so you can see the leaves are just poking out, and when that grows up, then I'll finish filling up the pot, so I'll have the tomato planted nice and deep. This one is just your regular one. You need to put a saucer underneath. Now I'm going to have it on the wicking mat, so I don't have to worry about the saucer, but if you were just to put it on a regular, like on your windowsill or something, you'd need a saucer. I recorded when I planted these, and I'm going to grow these 2 in the grow room, so we'll know the exact growing degree units that these 2 tomato plants get, and exactly how many growing degree units until it starts to flower and until I get fully ripened fruit. Peppers, technically if you want to grow a big pepper plant, you need your 1 gallon, and then the bigger you want it to grow, the bigger pot you'll need. I'm going to try growing these. I have 5 varieties here. I'm going to try growing them in this size pot and keep it as a mini plant. I'm going to have to make a new marker for this. I don't know where I got these plastic marker things. And I had taped the label on there because I'm like, I don't want to put it so that, well, I can only use it once and then throw it out, right? And then I just broke that one, so he's no good. Like that, it says parsley. So I have to mark that off. But I will put these in here now. These are going to be house plants, so the marker will be permanent. It says a ring of fire pepper. I don't have to put it right to the top on these because, like I said, I'll put water down here to water them. But I'm going to leave it down so much in case I want to, say, put some fertilizer, some composting on top later. Now try not to break this one. That is the Padron pepper. Now the yellow. That's the name of that one. This is the one where I have the best one. This is a nice plant right here. Red bell pepper. Guess I'll take this one. And this is the last pot I have this size. Now of the California Wonder, I only have one that sprouted well. And that's this one. Now these little oniony things, let's see if I can get this so I'm not casting a shadow on it. Here's my evergreen perennial onions. I'm going to take them out. They clump together. So I'm going to take them actually and just put them all into one container. And I'm going to use this little container for them. Now I started and I found this to be a little more interesting. What I'm going to have to do is fill up the pot like this. and I'll make several holes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'll separate them out like I do with the annual onions. And I'll pop one down in each hole. Now that's for this experiment of growing these bunching onions inside. And I may take these out in the spring and just plant them outside. Later in the winter I'm going to plant some more so that I have 10 clumps that I can plant outside. This is the pot that the large rosemary was in, if you recall. And I just noticed I only have 4 bush crop cucumber seeds left. I had a couple growing out there and the vole ate them. So I'm going to take these 4 and plant them directly in here, somewhere close to the center. And when they come up, I will remove 2 and have 2 plants growing in here. Hopefully this experiment works, because like I said, I only have 2, I only had 4, and now I have no seed. And I get 1 bush crop cucumber at least to full maturity, then I'll be able to get more seed. I have 3 types of basil, and I've done earlier videos and you might recall that I haven't had a great lot of success growing basil, but I'm going to try again. I'm going to put them in these containers. Now basil is one of those plants that you can grow in a big bunch. I've seen several people online do that. I think I better dry my hand. So I won't have seeds sticking to my hand. So I'll take a pinch of seed and sprinkle them over the top here. And then I'll take some soil and sprinkle that over the seed. Not very much now because the seeds are very tiny. Just barely enough to cover them. And that was lime basil. Try to get just the pinch out so I don't have to put any back. Mammoth basil. That's all I have for sweet basil. Guess I'll have to buy some more seed if I can get it growing. Sweet basil. I'll take you from there now and we'll go and see what I have done. This was all of a mess the last time I showed it to you, but I have the wicking mat cleaned up now. I'm not using it right now, but I put it back because when I'm starting seeds in the spring, then I will be using this again. Here's the 2 pepper plants that was here before. See, the vole really done a number on that one, eh? But it's up there now, it can't reach it up there, and it'll leave out and come back just fine. I don't have another large container, so I don't have anything to pot this one up in. This is one of the hot peppers though, and it's not a heirloom, so I might be getting rid of this one. Three more have sprouted. So that's 60%. Next year I'll have a lot of plants grow and I'll get a lot of seed. I think I'm going to offer them as a butternut C maxima, the seeds. See, I have peppers growing. This light setup now, it needs one more light bar to get the right amount of light. I think it's enough light for once the plants get up like this, but when they're small, then they need more light, and I have 3 bars up here. So I'll stand back so you can see the whole thing. There you are, 3 rows. The tomatoes is inside. That ginger hasn't shown yet. I don't know. I think looks like that one's not going to make it. That's the vegetable marrow that I put in there because it had already sprouted. But the peppers, they look nice. This is a lid to a 1-pound butter container, and it fits on these just perfectly. So I put them there so I wouldn't have to just spray the top every day to keep it moist, because the seeds are really right on top, and when the seeds sprout then I'll take this lid off. The mammoth basil, lime basil, and the sweet basil. And there's the pot with the bush crop seeds in it. I didn't clean up this one because, you see, the vole gets in there. he didn't bother to walk into that trap, and he's got a mess made. I'm closing in on it though. I've closed off the other big area where they're getting in, and they don't stay in the house. So it appears it took them a while to find a way in again, and it looks like that this is their only way of getting out into the grow room now. And I put that trap there and this bucket beside it so that they will have to walk right out over the trap to get to the grow room. We'll find out tomorrow if that works. I was thinking of putting these in the other grey containers, but when I opened it up, I looked at it and I'm like, well, it looks okay, so why bother to do more work than I have to? I swept up the soil from the tray, and this is a tray that has got coating of fiberglass resin, so I can just water them and no problem. My Tiny Tim tomato is doing well. One thing to note though, you see this? Now, what happened, I did let it go dry and we had a warm sunny day, and so with the screen across it got really hot in here and the leaves got sunburned. But I already harvested 2 tomatoes from there. Delicious tomatoes. Here's the next one that'll be ripe, I guess. These things, they don't work. You see there's the bubble there. So they're just a decoration. The ginger are growing nice. Here's the 1 and the 2. Now the vole I gotten up here, see it stripped every leaf off this pepper plant, all the lower ones off of this one, and every leaf off of this one. Now the pepper plant's okay, it's this leaves are coming back. As for this one over here, it might have actually done me a favor by stripping the leaves off, because what I'm hoping is that these branches here is what I was trying to get them to do, is sprout out into actually branches right there. So if it does that, then I will have a more compact plant. And this is nice. It looks like every or almost every seed that I put in here has sprouted. So the carrot seeds are quite viable. Now you might say, well, that don't look like carrot seed, but the reason it's like that is because I had this lid on there and they sprouted and was just racing for the light. I didn't take it from the most developed flower head. What I did when I took off all the seed and cleaned them up, I mixed all the seed together and then took out a pinch and put in here. So this should be an example of what the entire batch of carrot seed is like. So very good germination. I'm happy with that. And I cleaned up the sunroom. Boy, on the screen here it looks awfully blue. It's a cloudy day, and of course I was inside, and now just stepping out, everything looks quite blue here. I took all the dead tomato plants and put them in the compost. Speaking of compost, I have one of the here that's in the grow room, and I put the compost in there. I had worms in there, but I didn't treat them right, I guess, and they all disappeared. The other plants that still had some life on them, I cut all the dead portions off, but now I'm not expecting this one to grow. So there was some life left in there, so I left it there to see what it would do. Here's that rosemary I took. Well, there's leaves on there, but most of the leaves I harvested and I have put in a bottle in the pantry. Bags are back on the pepper plants, but now these two pepper plants, I'm leaving them out just to see what they would do and how much they will hold up to the temperatures there over the winter. I took the one pepper that was on this plant off. Here it is. It weighs 20 grams. And as for these two varieties of tomatoes, I think this is supposed to be a determinant. So will it or will it not live? That's something we'll see. I don't think it will, but you never know. You could get a determinate tomato that would revert back to indeterminate tomato, because originally all tomatoes was an indeterminate plant from the tropics. These are not looking that healthy now. They were looking a little healthier a couple of days ago when I clipped all the dead portions off. But these are the stupidaceae. And over the winter, if more dies, I'll keep cutting it back, because what I'm wondering is, even if I cut it back and I've just got a few sticks sticking up here, will it begin to grow again when the weather warms up? We won't know until March, April. I do have some sunflowers here. But you see, that seed is flat. That's no good. I might sit down one day and see what seeds are fully developed among these. So, another update for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button on your way out, and I'll see you in the next video.